Sensei Becky Harris over here, 5th degree black belt. She has the Pillion School of Karate out of Pillion. And then we have Troy Price, who's a 6th degree black belt. He's not here this evening. He came by on his way to Myrtle Beach to teach a seminar, and he almost canceled the seminar when he realized he had conflicted dates. He travels with me to Europe and all over the United States, and that's what he does now. He's a professional seminar director, and you'll see him at the symposium. And then Rick Scoppy is up in North Carolina, and he was our main instructor here for many years, as was Mr. Hood was for many years. So what I'd like to do is go down here. We have a special guest tonight, Ernesto Martinez. He's a 7th degree black belt from the Schwimmer style. Where are you, Mr. Martinez?
Hi.
Okay, good. So what happens is that you have these traveling karate people, and he had lived up in North Carolina, and was finally looking for a traditional school, and had gone to like 10 or 12 schools in Columbia. Actually, he would have to go into all 26 schools before he got here. But when he found it here, he said, "Oh, I don't have to go any further." Some of our instructors, like I've been to Japan and Okinawa 6 times, and China, and Hong Kong, and Taiwan, to get a formal education in the martial arts. And most people think that kicking and punching is just enough to say that it's karate or judo or jiu-jitsu or mixed martial arts. But it's much more than that. And to go to the homeland and get an education from the best that there is, and then now karate's been in America for over, since 1945, and we've grown our own. So, Tim McGinnis, 5th degree black belt, he's out here. He's now our main instructor here at the school. And again, these are people who started here in the 80s. So I try to remember, what are we offering that would keep somebody here for 25 or 30 years? And it's not just physical exercise. Karate is a physical exercise to achieve a mental state, and that mental state is one of peace and equanimity, but also to be able to deal with standing up for yourself and deal with situations in your lives and in a positive way. Okay? And then we'll go right down the line. David Chestnut is our instructor for Fort Jackson program, 4th degree black belt. Again, since the 80s. Nancy Chase moved down from Virginia, and she looked at a number of schools and chose to be here. She's been a great asset. She is dominating the women's division for the last 3 or 4 years in every national and international event. So she's a great asset here for Baker School. Lydia Carnesali, 1st degree black belt. She was also a junior Olympic champion. She was here before for as a teenager. And who else was on that team? It was Bonnie Brooks and Leslie Rayner. And who could think that a little school from West Columbia would win the national championships? And after a while, now they're going, who is that school? Continuing to win. We have over 100 national champions at the black belt level in the school that have come through over the years. Charlotte Bryant, she's sitting here. She is an office manager, and she's also teaching the weapons at the school. And then Tom Bryant, this is a family. Tom Bryant and where's Tom? He hasn't come back. Oh, there he's good. These are like right and left hand people. Because it's not just teaching classes. We have events throughout the year, the symposium, this event, tournaments, seminars, and it all has to be well organized. Tim Harlan and Jennifer Harlan, they are instructors out at the Pillion School. And so the instructors, 90% of them on a volunteer basis. And so, again, here we were looking at what is the value? Why are we doing this? And what brings a situation where you commit reasonable amount of time. We talk about 2 or 3 hours a week of training, and we look at that as self-defense training. And I want you to look at it a little bit differently, because self-defense training, I haven't been attacked by anybody in, I don't know, I can't even remember, not in my, certainly not in my adult life. The only times that I have been is either when I was obligated, and this is my wife over here in the red shirt, Mrs. Abel, and I always tease her because, you know, if we ever get robbed, I can run faster than her. So, but see, now I'm morally obligated to stay, all right? But now she can run faster than me, so I hope she stays. And then, now, we have a series of demonstrations. Did everybody get a program? That we're going to pretty much stay close to. And I want to when I talk about national team members, these are students who have won gold medals at the national championships that are in the national team pool. To be a national team member is an excruciating drill. The United States Olympic Committee says it takes 10,000 hours of training to produce an elite athlete. So you can imagine if that would take 5 days a week, 250 days a year, 4 years, 4,000 hours. So you have to double that to get 2,000 hours and move yourself through. So it takes anywhere from 4 to 10 years to produce an elite athlete. And that's not just martial arts. That's every sport that there is. So when you see these kids on TV and things like that, and they're moving up, and you see national team members, know that it represents a huge effort of time, energy, and money, and family travel. You know, some families take vacations to get them going down. So, and Becky Harris, Nancy Chase, Lydia Carnesali, Kevin Manning, Julie, come on out, you the ones that I'm naming now. Julia Miller, Darwin Lester, Sam Ricci's is from the fort. She's they had to move out. Her dad went to Iraq, and so they moved to another city. And then Sadea and Teddy James. She's from Florence. So I think what happened, we had a nice article in the paper a couple weeks ago, and we had 8 athletes win 17 medals. And I think they went, how did they do that? And they just kept competing all day. Kata, Kumite, Kubudo. So let's give them a big hand. Then, so then I said, let's go ahead and demonstrate some of the skills they have at one gold medal. So you can see what a gold medal looks like at the national level. So we'll get started. Just thank you very much. And then we said, all right, everybody sees black belts, but who sees the beginning student? What happens when you get started, and how does it go there? And so we have self-defense skills and some kata done by Gabriella Fulton and John Thomas Spiegler and Howell Watson, all in the purple, yellow, white division. You can see the number of black belts. Actually, when you actually look at it, it looks like there's a lot of black belts here. And this is our wall of graduation. Each year, when a new black belt is promoted, we take a picture and we put them on the wall. If we run out of space, we're going to try to find either bigger to build a bigger wall, build a bigger school. That's what we want. So we're going to start out with kata. This is Seiyunshin. This is the form of line. It's an international form. And what happens is this. There are over 50 million people practicing karate throughout the world. And they had to come to a common ground. So they picked a series of forms similar to ice skating, where they have to do a prescribed routine. And if that routine is not 100% correct, then they lose points, and it counts towards their freestyle routine. So this form of the line, when somebody says how many people know this form, about an average of 50 million people know the form. And they know which hand is where, which foot is where, how the eyes turn, how the body moves. And so one mistake, you can hear the whole crowd just go, ooh, that's for him. So it's pretty exciting. Mr. Hood has been to the World Championships more than any other black belt in our organization. I've been a number of times, but and I've been the team manager. But when you see that the rules that they've studied, that the crowd is very knowledgeable about every small detail, it becomes very exciting to see the dedication that they do. Okay? That's what the gold medal team looks like. Now we'll go to the Coyote Beach, first big steps. This is an introduction form that the students learn and work on moving, blocking, turning. Students work low, middle, and high strikes and blocks. And John Thomas, on out. No pressure.
Go.
Did a good job. He mixed three katas together, and so you can see the high block and the middle block and the down block. Next is Darwin Lester. It's empty show flying swallow form, and this is an intermediate kata. And you were a silver medalist this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but he went from the 45-55 to drop down to the 18 to 35. And so he went down 2 divisions to compete with the younger guys. He's in the 45 plus. Right?
If you shoot!
for advanced students. This is a last kata in a brown belt level, and then they'll have 2 more katas with their black belt level. This is Chris Holloman on our left, and Julie Miller in the middle.